T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Rock the world, rock the world. With me, no worries, come with me. No worries, just come with me. No worries, just come with me.
Yeah, welcome to the King and Me show. I am one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
So if we're live, then that must
Live.
mean what, Michelle?
It is Monday at 7 p.m. and we are live and live in color, baby. In living color. Do
What you wanna do in living color. Bump, bump, down, bump, bump, in living color. I tried to get my Hink baritone voice. That didn't work. Shout out to Hink, Tim Hinkle over there. Hink on the basement over on YouTube. I'm happy to be here.
Me too. I'm in a really good mood. I'm picking with people on Facebook. You know,
Why
I'm
you
just
messing
living
with
up
people?
because it's fun. Like it's
Wow.
this one teacher. He's not even at my school, but it's this one teacher. Like prior to this school year, I thought we had a really amazing like professional relationship, but it turns out we just pick with each other the whole time. So naturally, whenever I'm in his presence, I have to cause trouble. And because we're now social media friends, I have to cause trouble for him also on social media. And we just go back and forth. Like he went on a field trip today. He didn't invite me. He's talking about, oh, it's because you're not at my school. That's never stopped me from attending a field trip before. You just didn't invite me.
But if you wasn't at your school and at an event today, you wouldn't have gotten the good news that I would love for you to share. But before you do,
Yes, sir.
the King and Me show is a live stream that Michelle and I do every Monday as a new-ish couple. I'm still saying it. We haven't got past the honeymoon phase. We're a new-ish couple. We're both content creators. That's my boo thing.
Hey, Pooh
And
thing.
we are dating. We decided to share our journey of life together as a newish couple to highlight the fact that, look, if you're out there looking for somebody, even though I wasn't looking for you, she wasn't looking for me.
But my dear love found you.
Wow. The dating game's not all the way trash. So that's the purpose of our live stream. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. There's been some people that have commented early,
Ooh,
often,
okay.
and y'all feel like fam to us. So shout out to Tarika, one of the best mods out there in the land. She has the only wrench on our channel, I believe.
I believe so too. Like, you know, she messages me every Monday morning, A, to say good morning and to check in and just see how I'm doing. But also, the only person who was more hype about our live is definitely Tarika. And we're so appreciative of you, sis. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And hey, Tarika, I want to say this very publicly. We get this thing moving. There could be some opportunities for some things if you get what I'm saying. So even though you rock with us on your own time and everything, we be looking out for you.
Yes,
We be looking out for you.
definitely.
So thanks for tuning in. Perry Productions said that he's going to tap in on the replay, but he shared it to his like millions of followers. Salute to you for that, homie. Salute to you.
Thank you.
And do we have anybody else that's tuned in or tapped in early?
I don't know because random backstory. I have on my Facebook profile review, so like I have to approve every post that someone makes of me. Well, my sister made a post, and I went to go add it to my profile and accidentally hit it. And now I feel really bad because I'm like, oh, sissy, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, I have ADHD and squirrel. So, to my knowledge, no. Let me go ahead and share this post. Join us.
It said we were live. Oh, look at this. Even though we're live on Instagram, it's not framed properly. So I'm going to have to fix that.
No!
I am
But
going
can
to
they
have
at
to
least
fix
hear
that.
us?
I hope y'all can
so does
hear.
that mean like we need to move
Actually,
in?
because there's a delay.
There's a delay.
So let's see. Actually, no, it's frozen completely.
Oh yeah, because it moved for a second and then now it's
Man.
not. Dang it!
All
Can
right.
y'all hear us? Can you hear
Oh, there
us?
it is.
Oh, it's a real delay.
Yeah, that's a huge
Well,
delay.
look at your tattoo.
Well, this sucks.
Are you okay talking like this?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Hey, I just figured I'd ask.
Oh, man. All right. I'll fix that. Hey, we making small changes, but it is what it is.
Incremental changes. Look,
All right.
that's what progress is. You just keep on pressing.
I'm going to end it on Instagram.
No, at least they can hear.
Okay. So, let's start off with some good news. Because it's a Monday, and we should start the week off on some good news. Our congratulations is owed to Michelle as she got selected on a very competitive professional development track in her career field. And she talked about it a while ago. And she surprised me with the news that she got selected today. So I want to tell my baby very publicly, congratulations.
Thank you, baby.
And I'm looking forward to hearing the connections that you make, the things that you learn, because for you, you're somebody that gives back. So this isn't about you. This is about how you're going to take what you're going to learn and the networks that you're going to make by being a part of this program and give back. And I think we don't have enough people that get praise for that. And you're not one to take public praise like that very well. So I'm going to do it and say, I can't wait for what you're going to do and learn and how you're going to give all of that back threefold. So congratulations.
Thank you, baby. It's funny you say that because a former colleague of mine, she's at the middle school. She saw my post and she commented and she said, "You're so amazing. Oh, no, you're so awesome and awe-inspiring." So my response wasn't a thank you or anything like that. I said, any success that you see of me is a reflection of the people that I've been blessed to work with and around.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's true. It's 100% true.
But
you're
that's
right.
how you
I
are.
don't know. When someone says like, "Oh, you know, whatever," like tries to offer praises to me, I deflect. I do. I commend other people for what they did because I do. I recognize that there's nothing that I had that came on my own. Everything is God given. God has surrounded me with amazing people who have helped to produce the person that you see in front of you.
Yep. Now.
Yeah, baby. Oh, hey, Free T.
What up, Free T? So, our topic today.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't what I said.
Mm-hmm.
It's primarily about the different communication glitches that we've had and also sharing just our thoughts on how we got past it and maybe offer some value to the people out there that are watching and listening so that, look, if there's something that you took away from this, great. If you just like to see our faces and want to come and hang out on a Monday night, what up, though? But that's what we're primarily talking about today. Now, before we get into that, we have this game, Let's Get Deep, question for couples, which we think is a fantastic way of having those conversations so that you can get to know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and let's see if I do this right. They have 3 different tiers of questions: icebreaker, deep, and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pop up that icebreaker, baby. Hey, I got the Instagram wrong, but we got one thing right.
All right. No, you got the Instagram right, babe. Don't do that. You did good. What is your favorite thing to do in the fall?
Watch football. That was way too easy. Way too easy.
Next question.
When August comes around, it's football time. Especially if Alabama's playing the game. Don't call me. Don't reach out to me unless you're saying roll tide. Don't ask me to come to anything unless you have the game on or Alabama's playing Eastern Tennessee University or some small school like that.
Somebody that they guaranteed to demolish.
Yes. So that's my favorite thing to do in the fall. What about you?
Celebrate my birthday.
Ooh.
So, I mean, technically, by definition, I'm a summer baby, but I was technically born right after Labor Day that particular year. So, because of where my birthday falls, it can be anywhere. It can be on Labor Day, it can be right after. But technically, I was born on a Wednesday. So, I was born right after, which makes me an unofficial fall baby. I love to celebrate my birthday and look at all the colors and, you know, get into all of the things that I'm typically allergic to and just have fun.
I think it's pretty cool that it's around the holiday. That's dope.
You got to be a holiday
That's
baby.
dope.
Being a holiday baby is like awesome. And technically, you're a holiday baby too. It's just, it's not a holiday that anyone really knows about, except it's Jamaican Independence Day.
Ah, okay. Because I'm like, wait, besides it just being my birthday, because my birthday is awesome, and it's former President Barack Obama's birthday.
But yes, August 6th is Jamaican Independence Day, so your birthday being on the 4th, you're pretty close to it. So technically, you're born around the holiday too.
Okay.
Yep.
That was our icebreaker. And as we ask these comments, we do read them. So if y'all have something that y'all want to add to the question, please let us know.
What is your favorite thing to do in the fall? Please let us know. Let us know. Let us know.
Free T put out a video today. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to check it out, though.
Bet.
Next, we have Boom D. Ooh, woo, woo. All right.
Cooking with grease over there, baby.
Yeah.
My baby did some things today. Yes. Who set these questions up, man? What is one work-related goal you hope to accomplish this year?
Oh, wow. So I was talking about this today with my supervisor. One work-related goal. I just took training to get my Certified Associates in Project Management. I have not scheduled the exam just yet.
Mm-hmm.
I had the training in December. I'm going to shoot for the end of January or sometime in February.
Okay.
So that's my one professional goal, actually here within the next 6 months.
Bet, baby. You got this. Let me know how I can support you.
Oh, thank you. How about you?
Well, now that I'm in Vanguard, that's a goal. Make it through this year sane. But another goal that I have, and this is something that I've been saying for the past like 2 or 3 school years, I really want to sit down and unit plan for my courses. So I want to be able to map out, okay, this unit is going to take X amount of days and like just sit and mark it with a calendar. Like not even to go in depth, but I always say I'm going to do it and I never do it. And it's so teeny, it's so small. And that's just one level of preparation that I need to do because there is so much that's on my plate. At first, when I was thinking about how to answer this, I was going to say, I would love to get a promotion, but technically the only promotions available to me involve me leaving the classroom at this point. There's no in the classroom promotion that I can get. I already do all the things. Like there's nothing else. There's nothing else. There's nowhere higher in the classroom that I can go right now. So I'll say that.
Okay. And that program, we didn't really get into it, but how long is the program?
The program is 3 years. So you and I, we talked about leaving essentially because now that we're in 2024, we talked about leaving next year. So before I applied for this program, this was definitely a conversation that the two of us had together, like how that impacts us.
You were nervous about having that conversation.
I was so nervous, King, because like we had talked about it. We were like 2025. This is what we're gonna do. Like we had plans, and then I'm excited to get into this program, but I was so nervous to apply, and I was so nervous to have that conversation with you. I did not know what you were gonna say.
Do you think we could have done something long distance if I was dead set on just saying, poof, I'm out when my daughter graduates. Out meaning leaving the state of
Yeah.
Maryland. But you having this obligation and it being something that can be great for you, but that's great for you here. And my heart was set on being in a different location. Being that I still loved you and all, but wanted to get out of here. Do you think we could, that's a avenue that we could have gone? In all honesty, I don't think we could have, but not because of me.
Because of me, because my love language is physical touch. And I struggle when we don't see each other for 2-3 days. Like I struggle
Yeah,
greatly.
you
I struggle when we don't see each other for 2 or 3 days. So I definitely would have struggled. Like I'm so glad that we did have that conversation and you are okay with it. But man, that would have broken my heart. It really would have broken my heart because I don't want to have to choose between you and my profession. Like you make me better. So
I would have told you to go with your profession.
I know you would have. That's why I want to ask you.
You were really nervous, though. And I could tell
oh my God.
when I gave you my answer, was there any like sigh of relief?
It was so again, y'all, this is a 3-year program. It's not like a every single day I'm going to be doing something type thing, but there are courses and classes that are face to face that meet in this 3 years, and I'm sitting there whole time like we had this goal. How is he going to feel about this? Is he going to want to end it? And like I know you support me in my dreams. So I just wanted to know if our dreams could align. And this was something, like, I talked to you about many, many things over the time that we've been together. If I do X, how does that impact you? How do you feel about it? I asked you if I were to become a pastor of a church, like, how would you feel about that? I've asked you these things because you mean the world to me, and I want to make sure that that you're going to be there with me.
Do you think that there's ever a time that something may come up that we may not align on and it becomes an issue? I think life happens.
Life does happen.
So I think that as things arise, we'll do what I think you and I do pretty well on. You use this word ruminate and perseverate. I love perseverate,
I love
by
big
the way.
words. I love random $10 words.
perseverate.
You know me.
I wrote that as a title of something that I want to do a live stream on my channel.
Yeah.
But I think once you're done perseverating and ruminating, all the eightens, and I take some time to think myself, I think that we can tackle most things that hit us in a way that can still work out for us. And the only time that we can't is if it's not a values aligned thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really, from what I see, the only thing that could cause a snag in our relationship. It's something that's values based.
Well, so the way I look at it, there's only one core thing that we don't agree with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you are not prohibitive in that
Correct.
disagreeing that we have. So I appreciate that. And it's because of that I feel that we are able to be a couple. Because it's not like you're like, oh no, Shell, you can't do that. Or no, I definitely don't think you should do that. You're the opposite. You're like, you should definitely do that. You should go, you should attend, you should be there, you should, all the things. And I think it's because of that we are able to sustain. Does that mean that every single day is going to be sunshine and roses? Probably not. But I think exactly as this episode is talking about, we need to be able to converse and share all of that.
I say we now need a Facebook moderator.
Oh, we do?
Because the spam has entered the chat. So what you're seeing up on the screen is spam over on Facebook. Can't do anything about it while we're live because we self-produce over here. But let's move to our final question before we get into the main event for today. And go deeper. May I?
I ain't even read all of it. I ain't even read all. I didn't even read all of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Hold on to both of them for
Yes,
later.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
What had the biggest impact on your self-esteem growing up?
My head size. I got a dome. It may not be apparent on this live stream, but growing up, my head didn't match my body. And I used to get called Sir Hedrick, Hetty Murphy, all the head jokes. And I wasn't as confident as I am now. So it bothered me. Probably around about the time I started lifting weights at the end of middle school, and my body started to kind of match my head, that it stopped bothering me. So yeah, this dome. What about
Okay.
you?
My weight.
Okay.
My weight was a big thing, and my weight was one of those things where it bothered me, but my response to it bothering me was to eat more. So it didn't help the situation.
That doesn't help at all, babe.
I know, but I was a teenager. Like, I wasn't thinking clearly. And then I was in my 20s. I wasn't thinking clearly.
Did it affect your romantic connections growing up?
That did not.
Okay.
No. Actually, it helped because I had big boobs.
Boobies. I'm trying my best not to look now. There's this meme that came out of somebody like sweating as they're propped
You
up.
were sweating
And I'm like,
earlier.
you looking good in that dress. And I'm just like,
You were sweating earlier. You were when we were sitting down to eat, and then you were sweating a little bit. I was like, ooh, my outfit.
Free T said, not us skipping questions.
Yes, ma'am. We had to skip them questions.
Yes. Yes.
We had to skip them questions. I know, I'm sorry. So, Free T said Hetty Murphy is crazy, kids be mean. Tarika said my eyes. My eyes are up here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Even now, while you laughing, it was a struggle. Okay. All right. Focus.
Let's focus. What we talking about today?
But that's not what I said.
All right, but that's not what I said.
So last week,
Yeah.
we shared a story about how there was some slight miscommunication. You asked me a question, and instead of just answering your question,
Oh yeah.
I responded by clock's right there.
Yeah.
Wasn't trying to be facetious, wasn't trying to really say anything. I was trying to interpret in my mind, like, wait, why is she asking me when the clock is right there? But you didn't have your glasses on at the time.
And I mean, it's fair because students will ask me all the time what time it is. And I don't say it often, but there are moments where, depending on the student, if that student and I have a good relationship, I'll be like, time for you to watch, with that good old fashioned joke. Because for me, and this is probably where your mind went, like, it's 2024. You have multiple ways of knowing what time it is. Why are you asking me what time it is? It just so happened in that particular instance, I didn't have any of my devices with me, and I didn't have a Fitbit on, nor did I have on my glasses. So I legitimately, sans me getting up and looking at and like walking up to the clock, I couldn't see what it said.
So that story got me to thinking about what we could talk about for this episode, and something that couples, when they're just getting to know each other, they decide to commit and get serious, and even marriages are just those, I call them glitches, those communication glitches that occur that then lead to bigger things and or arguments if they're not addressed or you don't understand each other. So what other communication glitches have we had that you're willing to talk about since you and I have gotten to know each other?
Now, I'm going to be really honest. The one that I'm about to mention, the only reason I can mention it is because it literally just happened this year. Technically, the end of last year. But I don't really remember. So if you remember something, say it. But for this one, it was New Year's Eve. So we had made plans to go with your daughter and her boyfriend and Castle's mom and her boyfriend to Dave and Buster's. And I was totally fine with that because I wanted us to have that time and, be together. So Castle didn't have to choose which parent she was with. Well, technically, she would have been with you, but so that she could also be with her mom for bringing in the new year. But in my mind, and I don't think I communicated this effectively, in my mind, I wanted the two of us to steal away and be alone at midnight. Initially, I wanted it to be like it was last year, where we literally kissed in the new year.
Just us.
Just us. Like, that was in my mind, that it was going to be just us. And I felt like when I said to you, can we steal away at 11:55? I didn't explicitly say it, but I thought that it was implied that that's what I was doing. And that's an issue for me. I won't explicitly say something. Sorry, I'm a little cold. That's kind of why I'm like stuttering a little bit. But I won't explicitly say something, and then it'll be implied in what I have said, and I'm assuming that the other person will fill in the gap with what I'm saying. However, my request of wanting to bring in the new year, specifically like that 1 minute alone with you, was not what you interpreted it to be. That's not where you thought I meant. Like, you thought I meant pulling away for like a couple of seconds, but then still being there when the ball dropped.
Well, even more specific than that, I thought because we were in Dave and Buster's, and when you said it, we weren't sure like if the crowd was ever going to pick up at any point. So I thought you were saying it in case you and I weren't together because we were playing games and not in the same spot, to just have a designated time and a designated place,
right,
to sync back up before the ball dropped. So that's what I thought.
Okay.
I thought it was just, hey, in case it gets crowded and whatever, let's set an alarm. Let's pick this spot so that if we get distracted, 11:55, we're gonna sync up right here in case we're not together. That's what I thought was going on.
Yeah.
So
okay. that was a communication glitch.
So finish saying what you wanted to do, and essentially what happened, and then I'll say what I thought was going to happen.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. What happened was still not what I wanted to happen.
Ooh.
What I wanted to happen was that 11:59 and 50 seconds we were kissing, and we were kissing until 12 o'clock and 1 second. Like, we were literally kissing in the new year. That is not what happened. We were together the whole time because it wasn't very crowded in there. We were together. Both of our Fitbits went off at 11:55. We stepped out, and I was like, well, hey, can we just have a word of prayer?
And I didn't know where you were going to. I was like, wait, why are we walking outside?
Because I was like, I figured it would be less awkward if we were outside doing it. So, like, that's not what I anticipated would happen. And then, of all the times, like, when I finished, I was like, I can hear my pastor now saying I'm long-winded. Like, I feel like I did what preachers do, and I went long-winded.
And did you say something? Or you asked me?
Because your facial expression, like, I need you to know.
Oh, what I look like.
Your facial expression was like... Your facial expression read frustration.
Did it?
At least that's how I interpreted it.
Okay, I wasn't frustrated. I was confused.
And I may have misinterpreted that as frustration, but I was like, he didn't look happy about this. And I felt horrible. I did. I really did feel horrible.
Yeah, no, and this is the first time we've, I think, gotten more into it, so are we good?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Because we ended up talking about it, I think, New Year's Day. So we're good. I felt bad. Like, it's not that I was upset or anything like that. I felt bad because I'm like, I saw your face and I thought it read frustration.
My bad, I'm saying are we good to talk about it because...
I brought it up.
Well, we didn't get that extra layer. So I just want to make sure that publicly...
Yeah.
And I'm sort of kind of joking because of something that we talked about. We made a pact, I guess, that before we can talk about something on air, we should talk about it amongst ourselves first. That it shouldn't be a discovery thing, that there was something that made somebody feel some type of way, it shouldn't be discovered on air that somebody made somebody feel sad. So I'm just double checking
You're good.
that we good to continue.
You're good.
Okay.
Dave. Yes.
So no, I wasn't frustrated.
Okay.
I was really confused. So as I said, I thought we were just resyncing ourselves that at 11:55, if we got distracted, that we would sync up. And you did mention to say something about wanting to do a prayer together. And I'm not a praying person. I encourage Michelle in all the things to do what she's spiritually led to do, and I support it. So when she went to go step outside, in my head, we were stepping outside. She was going to do what she was spiritually led to do. Then we were going to walk back and get with everybody, my daughter, her mother, her boyfriend, my daughter's boyfriend, and all 6 of us were going to say Happy New Year and watch the ball drop on the TV at Dave & Buster's at the same time.
Apparently, all of us, including Dave & Buster's, had a different idea about what was going to happen.
So
Yeah.
when you were going, like, I try to also be present in the moment too, yet aware of what's going on. And in my awareness of what's going on, I'm like, we getting close to midnight. Oh, we can hear the countdown and Michelle's still praying.
I couldn't hear the countdown. I could not.
Okay.
So, in
I could.
all honesty, the last thing I heard was like 2-1. I didn't hear anything else, which is why I was kind of like, I didn't think it was that long because I did not think that I was taking that long. I couldn't hear it.
So I heard it
No.
from the 10, and even at that point, I'm like, even if you were to have been finished, there was no way I felt as though we could find everybody before it got to, New Year's. So what you saw on my face, yes, it was not frustration. It was a whole bunch of confusion, though. And I shared with her why. So my why was, my daughter, we share the New Year's and Christmas like every other year. So the odd years are my year as far as having my daughter primary custody. Then the even years is her mother's time for Christmas, like all the holidays, essentially. So when Michelle brought up the idea, hey, I'm comfortable, and it's a good thing that if that council get the chance to spend holidays and stuff like that with both of our parents, I was thinking, hey, all right, that could also mean we all Happy New Year's all at the same time. So when we dipped off and your prayer was longer than I thought it was going to be, I was really confused. I'm like, wait, all of us are here. Why are we now separate? So that was the confusion in my face that you likely saw. Also, if you play poker with me, I have the worst poker face.
Don't tell them.
But that works in my favor. Did I spit on your face?
No.
Okay. It's glitter. My bad.
Why I got glitter on?
I don't know, but you do have a little bit of red glitter. Anyway, I have the worst poker face, but that also kind of works in my favor too, because if I have a bad hand or a good hand, you'll never know, because I'll do random emotes. Not to throw you off, it's just I'll do random emotes. So you see in my face, and you also being, I think you're really attuned to me in general. I believe you can tell when I'm hungry. I can't say that joke. Another H and a Y word. When I'm not really up to par or feeling good, you do a good job of seeing it and saying something. I do a horrible job, I think, of the seeing and the saying. I might see, but I might not say. More or so because I'm like, if that person wants to share something with me or get something off their chest, they'll do it on their time.
Okay, that's fair.
So
New Year's. So that's a glitch I can remember because it was the closest.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm sure there have been others. But I just wanted to explain to everyone at home. So the reason why I yawn, I wake up at 4:45 on Mondays where there's school. So wherever you're watching, it is 7:35 now, Eastern Standard Time. I woke up at 4:45 this morning.
Every workday morning. Actually,
And-
almost every morning.
Let's just stick with weekdays for now.
Okay.
And then when I get cold, I get sleepy. So this is why I'm always pushing to have the heat on so that I can try to fight that. And y'all, it doesn't matter. I love King. We can have this live stream at any time.
I was just gonna ask you, should we move up the time?
No.
So you are good with this time?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know
Because
why
I'm busy.
I know why you do it. I know why, but thank you for actually addressing it, because you're like, man, she done yawned 4 times in the last 40 minutes. Like, is she bored? No. But Michelle, by the time this time runs around, it's a long day.
Yeah. That's one thing about working in our district. High school starts first. And I live up to my last name, so I get to work ridiculously early. I get to work 75 minutes early every single day. I'm able to do my 1-mile walk before the day gets started. I'm able to do like some last minute planning, sending emails out, handling some business that I won't necessarily be able to do the moment that kids come in, because I am that teacher who lets students come in at any time. Like, I try not to close off my room to students. So I get there at 6 a.m. so that I can knock out stuff before my students get there. And I had an event I had a staff meeting after work, then I had an event after that, and then I came straight over here. So I'm always on the go.
Okay. All right. Take a look at the comments while I produce what we're about to get into for our next part. And if there's anything to highlight, go ahead and highlight it, baby.
Let's highlight how attractive you look.
Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
And how, I don't know if it's my phone or what, but
Uh-oh.
I think there are moments of pauses. Either that or it could just be us.
Okay.
So for y'all viewing live, are we streaming okay? Like, are there any glitches or anything as we're streaming? Any pauses, any delays? Please let us know.
We have 2 other things to cover.
What's up, babe?
I'm trying to decide which one I want to get into first. So, did we cover the thing that... Oh, no. At the end of our last episode...
Yes, we left y'all with a cliffhanger.
There was a question that you asked, and I said we'll talk about it on today's episode. And it falls within, I think, just the theme of communication.
Okay.
You asked a question. Do you remember what the question was? Oh my God. See, I remember.
I just wanted to freak you out. I remember.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Yeah, right.
The question that I asked you when we were away on vacation, or at least coming back, something, I said, what is one thing about me that will bother you when we move in together?
And I'm going to share what I told her that my answer was. Tarika said that we're good. Thank you, Tarika.
Thank you. And Free T responded as well and said that we were good. She was watching from YouTube. We're good.
All right, thanks, Free T. So you asked me, is there something that that's going to bother me?
Yeah, something that I do that will bother you, or essentially that you're not looking forward to when we live together.
Okay, so her and I don't live together.
Correct.
Now,
planning for the future.
I responded that you have a thing, I'm going to call it a thing, that you don't like the outside to enter the bed.
Correct.
So you will not get under your blankets if you have not washed the outside off. You will not allow your significant other to get in that same bed if they have not washed the outside off. I'm going to say that I don't follow that category. Sometimes I'd be like, but also I work from home. So like if I dip out, I might dip out and go to like Sheetz, the gas station right down the street, and come back. But for you, you've left the confines of the house. So that would require a whole washing the outside off before getting under the blankets. I'm not used to that.
So I know you know, but for those watching at home, My rationale behind that is I had a really bad allergic reaction to something in 2014. And at the time that I had the reaction, I didn't know what the reaction was to. And I made up in my mind in that moment that I was never getting back in my bed without having taken a shower. So, because I was like, I need to be able to wash whatever residual allergens may be on me. I need to wash them off before I get into the bed. Like,
And
that's
she's
a big thing for me.
and she's dead like serious on that. And when I thought about it, I'm like, ah.
Like, for example,
And I get it.
yeah.
I get it. But that's going to be different for me.
For example, this weekend, it snowed locally, right? Saturday, I ain't go nowhere. I washed my hair, and I typically wash my locks in the shower. I ain't even, like, I just lounged around. Didn't go anywhere. Yesterday morning, I got up and I shoveled off, like, shoveled lightly, cleared off my car, and then I went over to the gas station to put gas in my car and to get windshield wiper fluid and the fuel injector thing. Well, when I finished, I came back home and I took a shower. By your definition, you wouldn't have because you ain't really run into no people. But for me, I was outside. I was already outside. Like, that outside air hit me and it touched me. I needed to take a shower and completely clean myself off. And then I look at it like, oh, I pumped gas too. And I had to go under the hood of my car and I had to touch things. And like, I remember there was one moment where I got in the car and I put hand sanitizer on my hand and like I rubbed it together. And then I went to like push up my glasses and my hand still smelled like the hood of my car. I was like, ew, ew, ew. And I'm just like, okay, let me go in the house and I'm monk. Like, I am.
Now, I asked you the same question because I was kind of curious. And y'all, I had no idea where she was going to go with my response. But I asked in all sincerity. I asked, and, as I responded and she responded to me, it's like, hey, if we're talking about, doing life together, living with each other and things like that, which, that's a whole nother episode, really, because for the longest time, I have said I will never cohabitate with anybody ever again.
You really got to stop saying these nevers. You hadn't met me yet. I changed the game, baby. I'm a game changer.
And I rarely like using the word never. But I did say that one. I said never cohabitating. Because I think that sometimes what somebody does when it's just them, you may find unattractive, and over time, that would cause you to lose attraction for that person.
But then would our relationship be real if we lost attraction for each other just because we cohabitated?
There are couples that, and this was a story that went viral. Some famous person said that her and her husband have separate houses.
Yeah, there are plenty of celebrities who actually say that they don't live with their spouse. And I mean...
And there are non-celebrities that have done it too. It's an economics thing. They both can afford it.
The way I look at it, aside from the love, aside from all of that stuff, there are financial gains to being married and living with one person. Like, there's a lot of money saved. I'm looking at it from the financial aspect of whether you can afford to not cohabitate and whether financially it's more sound for you to do it. Two different things. So,
Free T echo what you said. I just ain't met you yet.
basically, baby.
Now, what was my response to you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again,
what was your response to me for the same question?
The original question was, what's one thing that I do that he's not looking forward to dealing with when we live together? So the reciprocal of that is, what's one thing that he does that I'm not looking forward to when we move in together? So my response was the lack of organization of your lottery tickets. So King doesn't do lottery tickets all the time or anything like that, but he does jump in for like the bigger jackpots, which shout out to some woman in Frederick, because a gas station that King and King's daughter go to all the time hit like a woman won $2 million from that gas station. And the moment they said woman, I was like, dang it wasn't King. Which means it wasn't us. But he gets all of the things, and it's just the way, like, he has a system for him. And that's the thing about organization. It's a system for one person, and it may not make sense for another person. Because for me, I look at that and I'm like, what in the lottery pile is happening right here? And I dare not touch it because,
It'll
he
mess
has a
me
system.
up. It'll mess
He
me up.
has a system, but I look at it and I'm just like, but it's just here. And I should add that I do have OCD. So I believe that everything has a place, and there's a place for everything. So I look at things and I'm like, well, that could be neatly organized, or we can put that away, because I also grew up Jamaican, and I believe that everything needs to be like tucked away and hidden and that type of stuff. And what your bedroom looks like is one thing, but all common spaces in a home, I believe, should be neat and orderly, because anyone could see it. Now, granted, no, not everyone is supposed to be in your bedroom. That's supposed to be like your like sacred place. But all the other rooms, I'm just like, there's supposed to be order.
And she's really organized and really orderly. I am the most unorganized but peaceful person you will ever meet. Because I have this thing that when you see somebody that's really disorganized, their life's also chaotic too. And my life is the opposite of chaotic. I love what I've cultivated. I'm going to tell you right now. I bought this thing from this guy, Coach Greg Adams. Peace, quiet, and freedom. I love those. Don't mess with my peace. Give me quiet. Which, by the way, thank you. Because earlier, after you came, so Michelle, oh my goodness, she's fantastic. On Mondays, during our live streams, she takes care of dinner for both of us. Whether that's making something in the kitchen, or today was the first time I think that something's been brought over, and it was because of timing. You had an obligation prior to coming over here, because typically you'll get here a little bit earlier. And I don't know why you started doing it, but I want to say thank you, because that takes something off of my plate when we're getting ready to do our lives. There's some technical things that have to get done beforehand. I'm working until 5 too, by the way.
That's why.
I'm working until 5. We have our live streams at 7. At some point, I'm going to have to eat between there, because King needs to eat. And Michelle has said for about almost 2 months now that she's going to take care of dinner, and your specific thing that you followed that up with to take something off of your plate. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. My rationale for that is very simple. You get off at 5, we go live at 7. Somewhere in between, there needs to be checks and everything to make sure that we are good to go, because we're not a smooth 100% well-oiled machine yet. So if I can take one less worry off of your plate, even if you don't eat until 5, but at least if I can figure that out for you so that you don't have to figure it out, I'm happy to do it.
Thanks, man.
Of course.
Peace, quiet, freedom. Boom. As long as Michelle doesn't really not even Michelle, my own daughter, infringe upon my peace, quiet, and freedom, I have a problem.
Okay.
And that problem might have to do with that person or whatever that event is. And typically what I do is I cut that person or that event off if they're messing with my peace, quiet, and freedom. And Michelle hasn't done that. Small thing, for example. I said right before we got ready for this show, and after we ate, I said, hey, I need 15 minutes because I had a long day at work. I just ate. 15 minutes of silence. We asked Alexa to set an alarm, and 15 minutes. Michelle didn't. But King, she actually had something that popped up in her brain that we had talked about that we were trying to figure out, and then she lost it because by the time the 15 minutes came up, she goes, so I did have it pop back up in my brain, but it was during that time, and I didn't want to disturb your peace. So, thank you. Peace and quiet, actually. So thank you, babe. Like that small gesture goes a long way, and I don't think people understand that. It was like, well, I'm his lady, so he should give me his attention right now, or I'm her man. She better listen to me at this very moment because it's important to me. Totally disregarding the thing that's also important to the other person. So thank you.
Well, sorry, you're welcome. I also look at it like that gave me an opportunity to shut off my brain too, because well, I was going to honor what you said anyway. But initially when you said that, I was like, oh, I can just grab my phone and like scroll for 15 minutes. But I decided to also lay there in peace because you said it this way. You said your mind has been working all day. You just want 15 minutes where it doesn't have to. And I was like, bro, I've been up since 4:45. My mind's been working all day. I need to lay here for 15 minutes and not think about anything and not do anything. So it was welcome rest. Welcome rest.
I'm actually surprised that you can turn your brain off. It's easy for me.
I mean, in all honesty, it wasn't all the way off.
Okay.
Because I wanted to tell you something. After you had told me about your show for tomorrow, your stream for tomorrow, I had something that I wanted to tell you, but I forgot in the middle of our conversation. And then, like you said, it didn't pop back in until you were already asleep. So then I was working on holding it, like putting it in the safe place in my head where I would remember it. And then by the time the 15 minutes were up, I'd forgotten it again.
Okay. Before we get into our last segment, I want to ask Free T something. Free T, if you are willing to give 15 minutes of your time, I would like to reach out to you or Michelle. Really, one of us can. You're a content creator. In my opinion, you are a successful content creator. If you have some time to maybe consult us on some things, as far as stuff to look out for, things to build on, things like that, I will pay you for your time. If you happen to offer it, I'd be grateful for your time. But let us know how one of us can reach out to you so that we can pick your brain on this content creation stuff. I've been doing it for a while, a little bit over a year and a half myself, but it was more of a hobby for me. Now I want to take this thing to the next level. And I want to give a shout out to Better Than Perfect Podcast. That's John and Nicole. Both of them just got married. They have a relationship podcast as well, or it's not a live stream because they don't go live. But the quality on their work is fantastic, and I was willing to pay John and Nicole for their services, and I hope it's okay with me sharing that they also offer to say, hey, you supported us. We'll gladly help you guys out free of charge. I thought that was dope. I was ready to invest in our success. So, we have one more topic.
One more.
Before we close out our live stream today. And the topic is about being relationship ready.
Ooh, let's go.
Now, we've talked about this before, but just in small little tidbits. How when you and I met, we met when we were both able to be in a relationship. But there's this concept that I heard somebody else say, and it made me think, well, yeah, that applies to both you and me, in that we came to each other relationship ready. The situationships that I was a part of before I would say that I was relationship ready happened because I was not relationship ready. I was more looking for things that were going to temporarily make me happy without any long-term thoughts of being with that person whatsoever. And I was lying not just to myself, but to those women as well. What are elements that you think make women relationship ready? And I'm going to give elements that I think make men relationship ready, and then we're going to close out the show. Also, if there's anybody out there that are watching, what do you think are elements, whether it's men or women, that people should come to a monogamous relationship with? Because we
monogamous up in the street.
Hey,
okay?
you know, if you poly, do you.
But that
I don't
ain't
have
us.
nothing against it, but that's not us.
Taken.
So if y'all have something that y'all want to contribute to that as well. But Michelle, start us off. What do you think women should have to be relationship ready?
Submissiveness. Oh yeah, I came right out the gate with it. Submissiveness.
Okay. Say more. I was not thinking. I did not think you were gonna say
A,
that.
you didn't expect me to say that. B, you ain't expect me to say that first thing.
Yo, okay. Talk on it. Why?
So it doesn't matter how you want to look at it. Do you want to look at it from the Bible of how a woman should be in a relationship and how the man is the head of the household? Or do you want to look at it in modern day times? It doesn't matter how you want to look at it. Men were created to lead. And even biblically, things got a little bit topsy-turvy in this world when a woman tried to step in and lead and kind of go in front of her husband.
I think that's why we're seeing stuff topsy-turvy now. But all right, keep going.
But a man is supposed to lead. So if you are not willing to step back and let a man lead you and be his Azar, Hebrew word for help me, if you're not willing to step back and be that and let a man lead, then you need not consider a relationship until you're ready to do that. It bothers me to no end to see these women who are out there and it's like kind of controlling the relationship. And I'm saying that only because I was like that for a while.
Oh, no kidding.
For a season of my life, like, I dated men who were emotionally younger than me,
Okay.
I guess is a way to put it. They let me, kind of be the alpha woman. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that strong black woman. Like, hey, I'm so tired of that stereotype that black women get. But also, I want my man to lead. I want him to be in charge and be in control. And that doesn't mean that he's domineering and I'm submissive in that I just let my man walk all over me. That's not the same. But I'm willing to say, babe, I support you in this. This is how I'm going to help. I'm going to be by your side, yes, but you are still leading. You were still the leader in this. And until you're ready to do that, I don't think you're ready for a relationship.
Okay. Am I, as the man, automatically given that? Or do I have to prove that I can do that for you before you can be submissive?
I feel like that's a thin line.
Yeah.
And the only
It is.
reason
That's a good answer, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's a thin line only because I don't know what to say about other people, but to say I saw that in you initially. So it wasn't something that I'm like, well, let me see if he can prove himself being the man. Like, if he opens a door for me, then I know he's willing to be a man. It wasn't something like that. It's actually, I'm not going to take the credit for it. It wasn't me. Like, that is something that the God in me picked up about you. I'm sorry. Like, there's no other way for me to say it. Like, I couldn't have come to that conclusion on my own.
Okay. All right. I'm going to add mine, and then if you have something else, we could just kind of do that for a bit. For me, I don't think, and it's funny, it doesn't have to do with what you led with, but it was one of the first things that I was going to lead with, was I don't think that men are coming to a relationship in their masculine. I don't think that men are showing up ready to lead, and I think it's because, for the most part, they don't know how to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we have enough men mentoring young men. In the news lately, depending on what you listen to and how you consume media, Cat Williams recently went viral on Shannon Sharp's podcast called Club Shay Shay.
Ooh, did he ever?
And he talked about a lot of different things, but the part that stood out to me was the part about men in dresses. And how a lot of comedians, and it's not just black comedians or men of color, there have been several other races of people that are in these roles that have found success. But Kat was alluding to that your success is only given when you choose to not conform to what you might believe in and conform to other powers that be. And these powers that be want to emasculate you and put you in a dress for these roles. Now, the arts is the arts, yet art imitates life. So if you're looking at somebody like Tyler Perry, who's 6'4", 6'5", like he's a tall dude, in a dress, right? Some of my favorite actors, Martin,
It was
you
all of
could
it.
go
It was,
down
it
the
was a
line.
whole. It was a whole
Yeah,
thing.
a whole Jamie Foxx back in Living Color days. Wanda, hey. You know, like, it's interesting because when I was growing up, I really didn't think much about it.
Even
But
Steve Urkel.
Steve Urkel on Family
Murder
Matters.
Urkel. Yeah.
But as I've gotten older and I've started to understand masculinity, in my opinion, I don't think that you should ever, outside of something that culturally resembles, like if culturally something like looks like a dress for whatever garb it is for some type of ceremony, that's one thing.
Like a kilt.
Yes, but here where I am, and in most other cultures, like Russia, I would dare somebody that's a guy throwing a dress in Russia and see what happens out in the public. I don't think that enough men are leading with masculine and teaching other men about masculinity. And that's tough because if you ask 5 different people, what does it mean to be masculine, you might hear 5 different things. So I think that we don't have a standard definition of what it means to be masculine in our culture. And until we do, and we have enough people that are confident enough to showcase that and lead with their masculine, show up to date number 1 and ask the person, hey, so what is it that you are looking for in a masculine man? You say it like that, in a masculine man. And I didn't do that with you. I didn't do that with you. It was actually something that I just thought about. What is something that you're looking for in a masculine man? Because that's going to give that other person an opportunity to view you, how do I say this? View you in your masculinity. They might determine you ain't masculine enough, and that's fine. That's fine. But I think that men should understand their masculinity and not be afraid to lead with it.
Okay. I like that. You want to take Free T's comment?
Free T said, can't put nothing past Hollywood. Ain't no telling what these celebs have done in exchange for fame and power. I agree. Gary Owen shared a story on his live stream talking about it because Gary caught what he might have thought was a stray bullet, but actually Kat said, like, Gary hasn't given up anything to be quote unquote famous or whatever. And I made a comment because Gary then shared a story about how he went into a meeting and some Hollywood exec person, he said he felt as though it was like, hey, would you do something strange for a little bit of change? And I'm kind of paraphrasing what Gary said. And Gary said he left that meeting, but he told the guy no. He said, clearly what he would and wouldn't do. And then he walked away. And he said that he'll never name who that person was. I called Gary out, not thinking Gary reads his comments, but Gary reads his comments. So I called Gary out and I said, you saying I'm not going to say who it is part of the problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, that right there, things are happening in these rooms or with people and folks aren't saying anything until something comes out. And then it's, well, yeah, I was like, well, why didn't you say something then? Why didn't you use your voice enough to highlight that when you walked into this room, this exec tried to see how far he could go with you? Because if he's doing that with you, but you stood up for yourself, he's going to try that with somebody else.
Yeah.
And that person might think that they have to do this to quote unquote make it. So I said that to Gary.
What did he say?
He responded back to me and he said that in his telling of the story, essentially, that he's not saying the person's name because he don't want to out the person, and that all it was that he got hit on. And I went back and I listened to it, and I'm like, nah, the way you told the story, it wasn't that.
But still,
you
there's
just
a
got
level
hit on
of professionalism.
Yes, And I wish I would have said that because that was really what I meant. So I did say, hey, thanks for addressing my comment, first of all. I wasn't expecting it. And I said, I appreciate you adding some clarity to it. I said, however, 30 seconds before that, and I timestamped it, I'm like, this is what you said that would lead me to correlate the Cat Williams exec situation to, people trying to make it in Hollywood and your story of how you felt. Because he said, I felt as though he was trying to do XYZ. And I'm like, so I only correlated what you said.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to respond back to that. But I was surprised that he saw my comment because I called him out. I've been calling out people behind YouTube and Facebook, but my stuff's public. So I'm easily reachable. If I have a comment and I'm being critical, it's because I think you're being hypocritical. And I'm going to call it out. I'm tired of people. Never mind. That's something else. So,
Hello, Mr. Larry.
what up, Pops? He said, hey, King and Michelle. Hey, Pops, I appreciate you tuning in. Look, Pops, glad you tuned in. Make sure you hit that like button on the platform that you're watching as well. And if anybody else, whatever platform that you're watching on, if there is a like button, please mash that like button for us.
So when Tarika said, I don't think a man should wear a dress at all, but it's different. It's a difference between a man and a male. And then Peter just popped in and said, hey, guys.
What up, Pete?
Sorry, Pete just popped in and said, hey, guys.
So,
that's
mine.
More. I have one more.
Go, please.
So, I think, especially for a woman, because so often we want to say that we're right all the time. Now, granted, I am always right. There's a difference. I really am always right.
No, you're not.
But I feel like a woman is not ready for a relationship if she's not willing to admit when she's wrong. Like, if you were not willing to take that humble out. And in addition to being able to admit when she's wrong, being able to recognize that being right isn't always the best thing. So there are moments where being right isn't right.
Add more to that, please, because I think people don't understand that.
So, for example, let's say that let me think. Let's say that I felt like you shouldn't have gone out to the street today to go get something from Sheetz, and you go to Sheetz and you bump into someone that you've been avoiding. Like, I'm totally making this up. You bump into someone that you've been avoiding, and I come back to you and I'm like, well, baby, I told you shouldn't have gone out today. Like, I don't know why you didn't listen to me. I'm always right. Like, you should have listened to me. Like, that's not a moment where I need to be right. And I need to say that I'm right. I need to be supportive of you in that moment. Are there moments where between you and I will joke about being right about something? Yes. Because I'm a jokester. But you don't have to be right in every moment, and you don't have to call yourself out for being right in every moment. Just like there's something offline between the two of us where I swear up and down that I am right. And if it's ever proven that I'm right, I'm not going to say, told you. Because I think that me being right in that situation would be more devastating than anything. So that would require more of a comforting approach to you instead of a, I told you I'm always right type thing. You know what I mean?
That's a whole bar, and I'm thankful that you shared that. I'm clipping that because that part right there, not a lot of people understand. I counsel guys about not doing that whenever I'm talking to them just about life and things in general. But if I'm honest, I see more women not knowing how to just shut up because it's not always right to voice that you're right. God, man, thank you. I've been trying to, I say that, but I say it in a long-winded way. And you just helped me like really summarize that. Sometimes saying that you're right isn't right. Bam. That's it. That's the thing. But thank you, babe.
You're welcome, babe.
All right, I had something else too for me.
Give me 1 second. Before you read that, there were 2 comments.
Okay.
One, Pete said, so when is King going to admit that he was wrong then? Just like in general. And
That's an inside joke too, because I say that I'm always right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
Oh,
So
that's cute. And then Free T said, I think both parties got to be willing to leave the egos. See, this is why I need glasses, because I thought that said eggs.
And say it closer to the mic too, baby.
Sorry. She said, so I think that's when both parties got to be willing to leave the egos at the door.
Okay, both parties being able to leave the egos at the door. Yes, that goes a little bit into what I'm about to say as well, and what Tarika has, which is up on the screen, and that's about being accountable. I think that a person, and I'm actually speaking specifically for men, I think that men are relationship ready when they're able to be accountable for what they have going on and everything that they're looking to lead to do, right? Be comfortable in that accountability as well, because you're not going to get it right all the time, all right? But as long as you're able to be accountable for your actions and the direction that you're looking to lead your household, you're straight, okay? If you have somebody that is supportive of that, the person that you want to keep around you is somebody that is supportive of that. You don't want to keep around you the person that's going to be overly critical about the decisions that you made, and then instead of looking at building and course correcting and going forward, now you're spending time arguing about what was done versus taking the time to course correct, adjust fire so that you can aim and be on target. I'm going to always find a way to try to inject military, football, or something of that nature into these conversations, because I think similes and metaphors help people understand things. So for me, I like that. So for me, being relationship ready is when you're comfortable being accountable, and you're ready to be accountable. Too many times people come into these relationships not ready to take accountability for anything, and when something blows up, it turns into a wildfire because they're just not simply willing to be accountable.
Your dad had a great comment, and I can only see it up there. So
okay, Larry said, "A woman is always right, even when they are not." Awesome when one can admit that they are wrong. Yes, and I think he was saying that in a facetious, joking way. I know my dad; he was definitely saying that in a joking way. Look, too many times I remember. Can I share this? I can share this.
Okay.
I remember the first time from my ex-wife, I heard her say the words, "I'm sorry." Was it the only time? Might have been the first and only time, but I remember hearing it. Blew me away. And it wasn't because I was looking for her. No, you need to say, "I'm sorry." It's like, no, because you can say "I'm sorry," but if there isn't any changed behavior in what occurred, then you're likely going to repeat the same thing again. In that case, you might as well just say, "Hey, look, I know you feel some type of way, but I'm going to do it again. You need to then make the decision if you want to still be with me or not." Right? So I think that just saying "I'm sorry" isn't something, but there is something in at least owning the fact that, yeah, I messed up. And believing that. Not just saying it because you think that the other person wants to hear it, but saying it and you really believing, man, I messed up. I'm sorry. I hate to put it on genders, but I think guys are able to easily get to that point quicker than women are. And I don't understand why ex-exes can't do that. Yes, I said ex-exes. What?
I got something for you off camera, sir.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, if you got one more, we got time.
I don't.
Okay. You have.
In case you might have. There might have been something that in us talking could have came up. But I think the 4 things that we gave
Yeah.
about what men and women should come to a relationship having so that their relationship ready, I think that those are 4 bars themselves. And the things that people put into the chat and stuff as well.
I got one more.
Oh, please. Especially with that enthusiasm. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Women, we need to surround ourselves with like-minded people or realize that the people that we're around will influence what we do. So, for example, I can't remember the story. I think it was like Adrian, that the singer from, what was it, 3LW?
Okay.
Who said that, I think when she was married, and I could be getting this all jacked up, but anyway, there was a celebrity who was newly married or married, and she went on a girls trip with her friends,
Okay.
who were all single, and the single women had all these guys that were coming up to the room that they were staying in, and the married woman felt uncomfortable and everything like that. And to that, my response is, when you either change your behavior and change your crowd, or keep your behavior and keep the same crowd. But you can't have, in that situation, you have to be with people who are like-minded. Birds of a feather flock together for a reason. So, for example, if you are trying to be relationship-minded and you say that you're ready to be in a relationship, a committed relationship with a man, then you need to surround yourself with people with women who are either in a committed relationship or willing to do that with you. Who are willing to go down that route with you as well. You can't be someone who wants to get married and have kids and, start a family and do all of that, but you're out here hanging out every single Friday night, Saturday night, and even Sunday night, if you can finagle it, at a club, partying with a whole bunch of people, men and women, who are not thinking about settling down. Like, that can't be what you do if what you're saying is you want to be in a relationship. Because that's not what you're attracting. You're attracting easy come, easy go people, but that's not what you want. So you need to surround yourself with what you desire.
All right. Now, as we close out the show, I asked you something here. Read that, but then I'm going to say thank you to everybody that tuned in to us live. We'll be back next Monday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time Zone. If you're not following our other social medias and you are on those platforms like TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, and YouTube, in the description on most of the platforms that you have descriptions is a link tree. In that link tree, it has all of our other platforms, to include the email address that her and I share as well. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to highlight, or hey, I think we're down to do future collabs or have people come on and things like that.
Come on. We want to be able to talk to you all. So we want to be able to get y'all up here and conversing with us. Because we like to laugh and shoot the breeze. And look, y'all, next Monday would be a really great time if anyone wants to, jump in. Because we are talking about...
I don't think we have.
No, we do. I made it. It's about, modern dating or something. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, yeah. It's like dating in modern society or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Navigating modern dating.
Yeah, that
something along that nature.
So, yeah, we'd love to have people pop up and, what you say, shoot the breeze.
Shoot the breeze, fat. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I say shoot the breeze. I like that one.
Okay. All right, bet.
All right. You and I have both been learning something.
We have been learning something.
You know it a lot more than me. And we teased it on one of our things, saying learning something new together.
Yeah.
My daughter don't watch this so I can share it, and then we'll close out our live stream today. We're learning sign language, ASL, American Sign Language. And Michelle you're beyond novice level. I wouldn't call you intermediate.
Oh, definitely not.
But you do have an understanding of ASL. I learned the alphabet when I was younger, so I'm familiar with most of the letters. I still get caught up on a few.
It's literally just one letter, and I know why he gets caught up on that one letter. It's another inside joke.
but we are taking ASL classes together, and I think that that's something that couples, you don't have to like everything together. Like I game, Michelle doesn't, right? So me and gaming is my time, but I do like learning things. I like taking the time to enrich ourselves, and something like that is something that we do to enrich ourselves. People think because they might see us posting on social media that we're together all the time. No.
I just
That is
take a
the
lot of
exact
pictures
opposite.
and post them randomly.
But Mondays we have our live stream. Tuesdays for the next couple of weeks we're learning ASL together. And I want to kind of take that practice on it, and that be something that I can count as kind of a check. And I hate saying it that way, but it's something that I did in 2024 that enriched myself and brought value, because you never know how that skill can maybe help somebody and make their day just because you were able to communicate with them, which was the central theme of today's message. I like how that
I
came
love how
together.
you brought that together.
Uh.
There are two things I want to say about that really quickly.
Go ahead.
So you said you never know how doing something like that can brighten someone's day. I remember, I want to say it was like a year ago and some change. The grocery store that I go to that I'm a co-owner of because I invest in things, the Common Market. I went there one day, and the person in front of me, I think they were saying something to the cashier, and the cashier is signed that they're deaf. And the customer, started signing to them. And when I tell you that cashier's face lit up just to see that someone was able to communicate with them in their language, because I can only imagine how isolating that can be working as a deaf person in a place where everyone can hear, and not being able to hear what's happening, and you're just kind of like in your silo of things if you're not looking around at all the things. So that was something that stood out to me about how communication, just like simple forms of communication, can better one another. But hearing what you said today about Castle also brightened me up, because you said you brightened up her day
Yes.
when you signed good morning to her.
Mhm.
So yes, I love it. I think it's amazing when you just do those little things for communication. It's amazing. And specifically speaking of Castle, sometimes because she sings and she performs, she goes on vocal rest a lot. And one thing you'll notice is she may turn to me and start signing some things. And again, it's not because I understand ASL to the fullest. It's not that. It's just sometimes I just pick up odds and ends like in between. So I think that this is amazing that even though you're not learning ASL for her, you're going to be able to learn it and be able to converse with her in moments where she wants to go on vocal rest.
Dope. Shout out to, I never say it right. Is it the Seds?
Yeah.
The Seds. All right. Shout out to the Seds. Good evening, everybody. Salute to the beautiful couple
Good
in
evening,
chat.
y'all.
You know that they down in your neck of the woods, right? Like
In Baltimore.
Yeah.
And so is whatchamacallit from Precious's show.
There's a couple
Trey?
of content creators around here.
Yeah, Trey's down there too. Why we ain't linked up? I like vegan food, but I love you heard me slip that in there. I like, come on, like we need to get together.
Okay, so we haven't.
Sorry, ADHD.
Nah, you good.
Oh, child.
So let's close out the show this way. Sign and teach me I love you and how I'm supposed to say it back. And then together, let's turn to the camera after that and say good night.
Okay.
Because I do know that one.
So there are two different ways to sign I love you. You can literally say it out. I love you.
Okay, so I love you. Like,
now, I'll be honest.
like
I don't know if it's right over left or left over right.
There's a difference in that sometimes.
Sometimes there are, like, I know that for sororities and fraternities, there's a difference between left over right and right over left.
Oh, okay.
I know that there's that, especially, you know.
Well, did it say something like right if you're right dominant?
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't know. It's probably I love
Wakanda you. Right? I Wakanda you.
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can take the simpler route of I love you. I love you.
Like the hook 'em horns. This is how I learn.
Your references.
This is how I learn.
Reference. So I love you.
Okay, and
because
you
it's
say
the I It's the L for love and then the Y for you. I love you. You don't have to say it. I'm just saying it.
Okay.
I love you.
All right.
So it's kind of like it's coming from me to you.
Twiki said, when am I going to start back working out? Tomorrow.
He's been working out.
Actually.
He has been working out.
I think the question was meant for
I was
me.
about to say, I hope
but
it was.
I get why you put that distinction. That was hilarious. All right, so let's tell the people good night, and I hope I do it right. I was very confident about a minute and a half ago. All right, so now let's see.
Wait, hold on. Before we say goodnight, what are our names? Like, so the thing is, as much ASL as he swears I know, I struggle with spelling my own name in ASL. And it's not because I don't know it, but because when it's time for me to actually do things, I forget it.
Okay, so.
Okay, one more time. Good job. So one thing that I learned when I was learning ASL is that if you have back-to-back letters together, you move them. Yeah, to distinguish that.
Like, I think when you said I'm deaf, it's a D and it's mouth to ear.
Yeah.
It's like when you kind of understand stuff, you're able to kind of pick up on that. Because when you did, I
believe this is deaf, or is
like,
it deaf? I don't remember.
Like, it makes sense. Whether it's this way or this way, I would pick up on that.
Because I know home is where you eat and sleep, so that's how I remember home.
Okay.
Home is where you eat and sleep. And then when he saw you, he said, boy, friend. So it's like up here, I think it's like boy and then friend. And then I said niece, like I know niece. I said, because the woman next to us, like her name was Sophia. And I was like, oh, that's my niece's name.
Okay.
Okay. Long story short.
All right.
Sorry.
So let's see if we can do this now. So let's say good night.
Good night.
Okay. And then we're going to close out how we normally close out, which ain't no ASL. It's some physical touch.
It's ASMR, though.
All right. So, yes! Yes!
That's my baby. Yes.
Hey, I'll see you in ASL tomorrow.
I'll see you in ASL tomorrow.
About to see these lips right now, though.
Bring them.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Mwah. Peace.